All right, so maybe let's do a very quick intro. Maybe we will start with Daryl. Daryl will be the second president of MAFA, and basically, I dumped all the problem on. I caused the problems, and then I dumped it on Daryl. So thank you very much.
So hi, my name is Daryl. Chum did not dump any problems on me. He might say he did, but no, he actually helped a lot. So I took over. So I was Chum's vice president, and then I took over after Chum the year between 2019.
Yeah, here's the math.
Okay, right, the math, right? One of those years, right? Yeah, yeah, and so like, I'm a musician. I teach music. I'm a psych graduate, and I work with special kids. Yeah. So yeah. But Shah, why don't you tell us about what you do?
Hi guys, I'm Shabari. I'm just recently being installed as the new president for MAFA for this new upcoming term. I am a sports marketer. I work for a sports agency, Innovive Sports, and previously I also practiced law before I jump into sports business.
Great, thank you guys. Thank you, presidents, for sharing. For those who are listening, and when Daryl said Cham, so I have two names, or I have two lives.
sorry, I forgot.
No, it's
Zyril.
okay. Yeah. So like some of my friends knows me as Cham, or on the field they call me Grandpa, or they call me.
It was all anyway.
Yeah. So work-wise, people call me Zyril. But it's fine. Either way, as long as they know it's me, it's fine. So actually, I have some. We have some areas that we're gonna talk a little bit about. I think because the growth of an association or the growth of the specific sports always depend on the leaders. What is it to them? Is it a place that for me just to grow certain things, or is it for my own self-development? So what is MAFA to you guys? What do you see MAFA as a precedent? Either Daryl or Shah, go ahead.
Shah, do you want to take this first, Shah? Just now, since I went first, now you go first, Shah. We take this last. So please jump
No
first.
problem, bro.
So yeah, what is MAFA to you as an individual or as a president?
For me, MAFA is it's a responsibility for me because like we just talked just now, I believe Cham has started MAFA in the past few years. It was 5 or 6 years ago. So I think throughout all the generations are either under Cham and Daryl, I think everybody can see that progress from time to time. From I believe back during when Cham started all this, there was like not many teams who are starting the sport in Malaysia. But now I think after good work by you, Cham, and also Daryl, I'm sort of following the footsteps to continuously growing the sport. So I think that is a huge responsibility, and it's not something that I'm taking it for granted.
Awesome, thank you, Sam. Daryl?
For me, it's hard to follow after that. But yeah, for me, I think like after becoming like getting the presidency from Cham and really looking at what MAFA means to me, I think MAFA in general when I took over, it was a sense of commitment to the community for me. Yeah, so it's a sense of commitment to the sport, to the community, to make sure that I give my best so that I can get the best for the sport. Sometimes it might not be what people think is the best, I would say, but like parents lah. Sometimes you gotta do the hard work, and then after that, after a few years, you'll be like, oh, actually, can yeah, yeah. I mean, you will know all about it, right? Like
So after all, MAFA is like
our
our
baby,
child,
kan?
our baby lah.
Yeah. So I think for me, it was a commitment to the community and to the sport to see it grow, um, and basically work with the team that I had to see it become bigger and better from all the years, because I think that's what we need to do as presidents. Try to always get better and get bigger. Yeah.
Yes, very, very true. Thank you guys so much for
How about
sharing.
you, Cham?
Well, MAFA for me is actually the love for the sport. I think even before MAFA, there was a group of guys that was playing, and I think the thing that made them play and they actually organize events and tournaments, and it's just a group of people who just have the love for the sport. I've been playing since I was 13 years old, so I was blessed with the opportunity
So
to.
about 5 years, and you've been
Yeah,
playing.
yeah, no lah, about 10 years ago lah. Yeah, so it just becomes part of your blood, and I really want to see the sport grow, and until an opportunity for my children and your children coming soon to also play the sport we all love. I mean, it's really starting from the grassroots, really starting from zero, and it is something that we could not rush, and is something that I agree with what both of you guys are saying about. It's really about the community. It's really, I mean, it is, yes, it is the sport that, but then it is also the atmosphere that comes with the community. I know a lot of people that join the sport. It is because of the people that they play with. Regardless of gender, regardless of age, regardless of what their occupation is or their background. When they come in, they feel like they have tremendous support. I've had some people who are non-local who join, and they said that the reason why I joined is because I am just another person. I'm just another player. I'm not segregated by race, by age, by whatever it is. I'm just another player. And most of us don't even know. I mean, I know Daryl for quite some time, so I know what he does. And only just before this webinar started, I saw what he was doing for a living. So we all know each other as player and from which team, and what we play, what position we play. We only know each other on the field, and I think that is a strong community. That people just appreciate people who for who they are, and regardless of whatever their background is. I think that is one of the beauty behind the community that we have here, and what you guys have built and continuously building. Inshallah. Okay. So let me ask you, because basically I cannot say that I was the first president and that I started the association. Daryl was with me along the way. We were working together, and along with a group of committee members, and so there's a lot of experience and a lot of trial and error. So I know Daryl and myself, we are the past. If we are to run another NGO, should we run it? If we run another association, should we run it like an NGO or should we run it like a business? What do you guys think?
For me, like when I took over MAFA, I always thought of running it like a business.
Okay.
Yeah. So even right now, if I were to run another association, I would like to run it like a business. But what I've learned is that because it is an association, you cannot fully run it like a business, because there is the community, there are people, there are basically you have to listen to the inputs of the others. You cannot be like, no, this is my way or the highway, right? Because a lot of businesses be like, okay, this is my way or the highway sometimes. So I would say I came into MAFA looking at it as a business, like looking at running it like a business, because I feel like, sometimes some things need to be put on, but throughout the years, I realized that you have to kind of balance the business and the people side of things. So if I were to do it again, I would try to kind of meet somewhere in the middle. I know it's not the best answer, but yeah, a bit more like a business, but still care about still take in more input about what the people want and how can we help the people. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Daryl.
I agree with what Daryl just said. For sports to work, we have to treat it like in a professional way. That's in a way I agree with Daryl when he talks about running an association as a like a business, not as a business entity per se. Because when it comes about sports in Malaysia, there is this sort of ideology where there is a very traditional setup when it comes to sports in Malaysia, when you have to have go through district, states, and whatnot. But regardless of that, I think what we are striving forward is something that's very flexible, something that at the end of the day we can reach our goal as a sports association, as a national sports association.
Yeah.
Yes,
If you don't mind me just adding a bit, Cham. So
yeah, go ahead.
so like I saw MAFA as, okay, let's run it like a hard knock kind of business thing. And then halfway through I realized that, okay, you can't do that per se, because there are people who maybe don't see your point of view, and maybe people who cannot get on board with the things you are doing, right? Because we are all at different places and different levels in our life, I would say. So that's why I spoke to the committee, and then they said like, okay, why don't we have maybe every like 3 to 4 months we have a captain's meeting. So then we tell the captains maybe a week before, like, this is what we're going to talk about, and then get back to us about it at the meeting, and then we take in all the input, and then we see, and then we got to filter it from there. So kind of like balancing out between listening to the people, but at the same time doing what you have to do. Yeah. So I think that's how I try to balance things out. Might not be the best, but that's how I saw in terms of balancing things out.
I think from the, sorry, Charan, just to add,
Go ahead.
I agree with what Daryl said, because there needs to be a balance. And when it comes to MAFA, I think you guys would also agree with this. People who are involved in this community, when you play a sport which is not entirely familiar in this region, you join it out of passion. Because like Cham has been playing for a long time, and there are other players who have been playing, I think, like up to 10 years. That there are players who played that long, and I've been here for just a few years, and I can sense that passion among people in the community. So that is one way. We are lucky because people who are in the community right now is passionate about it, and we hope to continue growing this passionate people in our community.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I agree with the both of you in terms of having that balance. I think the biggest challenge is when you run it as a business, especially for a business, you have targets and expectation. And the challenge balancing that is the committee are all volunteers, including yourself. I think MAFA has not reached at a point where we can give out salary.
Rich by now.
I think the people
We can go makan buffet lah, maybe. Mandarin Oriental is kind of pushing it, but
don't ask for more lah.
Don't ask for more lah. No? On a good year, maybe we can. If not, we just go for some steamboat buffet.
Yeah, correct. The Mandarin as a dessert later lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Sorry, you're saying, Shah?
that is the balance, because you want to run it like a business so that the association can sustain, but at the same time you're not pushing the committee like workers, because they are volunteer. And this is a very thin line, because the moment you treat them like your workers, rather than your team members, now it's going to be an issue of performance. All they have to do is, I don't want to do it. You're on your own. You figure it out. That's all. And we really can't do anything. And until they come to a point where they say, well, this is not for me. I want to resign. So it's very difficult to move the organization 100% like a business. So you kind of like, you need to make money to sustain, but at the same time, you want to make sure that everybody is with the same heart as the association. Because everybody's there is putting in their time, their effort, their thoughts, solely because of heart. Because it's either they really like the community, or they really love the sport, or they just like to be part of an organization, but it's still free. Even if we have our normal monthly meetings at the famous ANW. I'm not sure if the ANW is still there or not. The cut PJ, but that seems to be the meeting ground. And we change location based on, to make sure that everybody can reach at the same time. Everybody is working, and then they come with their office attire. They spend their own money to makan, and then we have our discussion. At least a minimum of 2 hours. Anything beyond that, depending if there's a tournament coming up, oh my God, so many things to talk about. So there's really a lot of things that you need to put in. I think that is the hardest thing. And when you put all these people together, you want to make money at the same time. Great, thank you guys for your questions and your feedback. Now we're gonna go into something that it's a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit something for Shah to look forward to, and something Daryl and I have experienced. So
yes.
let's talk about the committee members. But to be honest with you, I think we started with a committee of 11 people, if I'm not mistaken. And this 11 people, at least this is where we start off with. And we had committee and subcommittees, and we had people who were committed at the beginning. And I cannot blame them what happened in the middle, because at the end, we basically ended up with like half who are able to commit fully. Before I continue, I would like to welcome, for those who just came in, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the unique funny experience of opportunity of getting 3 presidents at the same time, and basically sharing our experience in running MAFA, the association, and as well as where it's going to go in the future. So right now we are on the topic of managing our own committee. It's very crucial that the motivation continues, and I, on my part, is to make sure that all these 11 people stay sane, and while still giving their effort. And I know along the way people's commitment changed, so it could be they had to move, and they are unable to contribute. So these are some of the things that was expected and may possibly happen. Some will need to shift their priority. Some just started their own business. So a lot of things was happening at the same time. So this is something that we, or at least I, needed to manage and to make sure that everybody is at par. And we wanted to create an environment where if you need help, ask for help. If you if you are okay with everything, and without voicing out, that you should voice out. Don't just take everything. Now you become one man show, and I think running an association can never be a one man show, a one woman show, one person show. And actually, Daryl and I have seen this not in Malaysia, also not only in Malaysia. There's also other parts of the world where you only have one president and one person running the show, and every like couple of years we went back and it's the same person. So I'm not too sure if that is healthy or for that person's heart or what thing. But it's like we want to develop something that may work, and people move from there. So the idea is to move up, rather than restarting the ball all over again. So sustaining the committee is always been a challenge, at least from my side. But the show still must go on, and sometimes the committee change also along the way. Halfway, somebody else who is committed and want to contribute their time comes in as well. Daryl, do you want to share your 2-year experience?
I think for me, I would say I was very fortunate, um, and maybe lucky, I would say, that I had like a really, really, really good bunch of people in my committee. I think we had like maybe 2 dropouts along the way, but we added like so we started with 9 people, 2 dropped out, and then
Okay.
we ended up with 12. So that is 7. We added 5 people, right? Yeah, we added 5 people
Okay.
in the second year. And I think like, so I really got to give like hats off to the committee members from I like they were with me, Zoe, Henry, Zoe, Henry, Hyman. Yeah, Cham was actually the sleeping committee member that I call like every week and be like, hey Cham, this, then it's like, yeah. So I had Boy,
Special advisor lah.
yeah, special advisor, right? Yeah, so like Boy, Kyle, Timo, um, Sherman, Zoe, then Mike joined in, Krish, Howard, Ellie, Amy, they joined in the second year. And
You better not leave a name, ah.
better, yeah. That's why I'm just like I'm thinking. I'm like, yes, I think I got everybody. Yeah, and I would say that these people, for some weird reason, they shared my passion to really grow the sport. And I say especially like my vice president, who's now your vice president, Shah Zoe. She, if I don't get anything done, she will hound me. Like there was a time when I went for my operation for my ankle, and I was in bed, and she's like, I don't care, we need to get Rose Bowl done. So she and Henry came to my house. They came to my room. I couldn't get out the bed. They're like, we're gonna sit here now. We're gonna figure it out. I don't care. Like so I mean like that, and I think everyone in that committee shared that passion to really grow the sport. And I think we put it out there for these 2 years. We are just going to grow the sport in numbers. We want to grow our social media. We want to grow the sport numbers. Ayman was fantastic in managing the budget. That we made enough money to cover for a lot of other things and to use it as marketing. And now we've given that to Shah, and hopefully Shah will grow it even more. Then maybe he can go to Mandarin Oriental for buffet. We'll see, right?
That's where we cut lah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that whenever it was a little bit too much for someone, I always say like, let me know. If you have a business, if you need to take time off, if you're busy on the day, just let me know, and someone else will step in. And the good thing about the committee that I had is that everybody was always willing to step in and help. Like if someone cannot do it, someone else will be like, it's okay, I will take this guy's job. I would say maybe because we dedicated our life for that 2 years to football. Also, a lot of people on the list are single, I think. Maybe that's why. So Shah pick single committee members, okay? Tell them 2 years, then can find partner after that.
Apparently it works. So
apparently it works. Yeah, but I mean,
formula.
I would say that I really, really thank my committee members for having the same goal and the same vision and the same drive. And maybe some days even more than me, to make sure that all of us get that together, to get all of this together. And I think we accomplished quite a bit in that 1.5. I mean, COVID happened, so we got 1.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That is so vital, especially where you really see the appreciation of how the committee works as a unit. The president is not motivated 100% of the time. Presidents of the presidents do get tired, but and also presidents, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. And I think the community is big enough that you can ask for help. And I think that is really the value behind an association. Is really about the people. And sometimes you have expertise out there who may assist you even greater. And especially now, I remember telling Daryl, I can't exactly remember when, but this is some time ago, where it was at a point where when we started, we know everybody. We know everybody's name. We know who they are, who they play for. But it had come to a point where I don't know these people anymore. So it's a good sign because it's not a sign of old age, by the way.
And yeah,
Still a good sign though.
It's a sign that the community has grown, the sport has grown. There are new faces, and really that's what we want, and that's what that's what the association should be. Any association, because we can only do so much. I can only have so much ideas. Daryl can have only so much ideas, and then we want, our expectation is to at least see it grow to a level that we have never gone before. I mean, Daryl has done that. Daryl has taken the association to a level that I did not bring to. I could not possibly bring to. So, no pressure.
I mean, but I would say, Champ, is not only me, but I would say I would thank my team for it, because I really thank, especially because my main focus for the 2 years was how can we grow our social media presence, um, and how can we reach out to more people. And I would say Zoe and Henry and Amy, like Henry and Amy, like if I said, oh, I needed a poster to post on social media, they would have it yesterday.
Right.
This is it's like on, and Zoe would know what to do.
Amazing.
Zoe, and we grew it in terms of video. If we had to stand there and take video, which I did sometimes, but Zoe scolded me because I realized that I don't have very good video hands. Or she realized, and then she told me, stop taking videos, just go and be a ref. Okay, But yeah, I mean, we all chipped in, did however we could, to make this thing. So I mean, to take it, so like how you say, take it to another level. I think it's very important that there are committee members who are going to not perform, and the committee members who are going to kind of drop out, but there are also going to be those exceptional committee members who would push and ride that wave with you to basically bring it to where sometimes you feel like, damn, I didn't know we could get to this point.
Mhm.
And I would say I was lucky that majority of my committee members, or at the end of the day, the ones who stayed to the end, are all like that. So yeah.
I
So
think
all the best, Shah.
No pressure, by the way.
No pressure, no pressure.
I think we have stressed quite a few times where one of the biggest strengths of people who are involved in our community, in the community, they are passionate about the sport. So I think that's why you guys have such a good mixture of team to start the MAFA back then, and then continue growing it until your time. And I cannot speak much about my team right now because we just recently started, but I wholeheartedly believe on these teams, all the team members, because like I said, the people who are involved, I believe they continuously, when you're continuously playing the sport, you basically are showing how much passionate you are, and to step up. Like all our community members are volunteers to step up and contribute something that shows a lot. And I also agree on what you guys said, that you cannot, nobody can run the show alone, right? You always need a good support. And from my time before I stepped in as president of MAFA, I was president for Rentap, uh, the one of the new clubs, can consider new lah, quite few years. And we started in 2019, and last year we we started with a quite a bang, and we tried to like achieve our goals. And that is not something which I myself do alone. We uh, everyone in the team involved, and everyone in the team wants to have the best for the team. And I believe even for MAFA, in MAFA community, everybody wants the same thing. So I don't think it would be different this time around.
Excellent. Uh, so audio. Can you guys hear me okay?
Good.
Okay, good. Sorry. There was some feedback earlier. So I think I want, I hope what we have been sharing is at least helpful for those who are listening, especially those who are within an organization or within an association or planning to start an association. These are some of the fun stuff that's going to happen. And, people always talk about funds, how to fund an association, and either be a sport association or professional association, we all have the same issue. You need funds to run it, and you need funds to ensure to sustain the association. Like even simple things like posters and running an event, all those, you need money to make sure everything is up to par and fully organized. And I've actually I was blessed being invited to one of the KBS punya event. KBS event. I went there with Daryl, and we were just sitting there and we were just listening to all the other associations. There were like, I can't remember, there was about 5 rooms, and there was at least 30 associations per room. And that session was about how to work together with KBS, and addressing certain issues. Surprisingly enough, I would say about 90% of the questions there was about when is the government going to give association money? We need money to do events. And then KBS is like, why should we give you money? So, and I was like looking at Daryl like, actually, we're not doing so good.
That's true.
I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a little bit of money that at least we could run, our own events. We could rent our own field. We could pay our own referees. We even had our own toilet.
That's an achievement, though.
So
that's a real achievement.
So I think at least from how we started the association was, I think we went with the attitude of we could run this ourselves, and we went with the attitude that this is a community, and believe it or not, the community actually reached out, and they paid membership. People are very enthusiastic about membership. It came to a point where everybody is very keen about wanting to make sure that their voices are heard. and people play a very big role in terms of contributing ideas with the association. So I think that was the biggest thing, and from there we just had to make sure that we ran events that basically had some funds packed for the association to run throughout the year, or when we planned for 2 years. So of course that was without all the Mandarin buffet dinner. We unfortunately we did not have that. The only time where the association paid for our meal was in the tournament. That's because we are not allowed to leave the field. We are there.
Yeah,
So that was a luxury.
Nowadays, guys, pagi makan pagi lah.
I mean, I think the same for me. So I think the only time that the association ever paid for any meal was during Fantasy Cup. I think when like we all had the field, like that's it. And like
Yeah.
By the
So
way, I'm not gonna put that as one of my target lah.
yeah. So I think as a general, and I think that's what how Daryl was running the association as well. Is basically the association grew organically, and with the funds that was left for the next association is actually when I shared with some of my friends who ran other association, and surprisingly, this is their response. Wait, that's a lot. What? Really? So that gives me an indication that people kind of have to start all over again. And I think what is important that although we had our fun in using the facilities, but you're ensuring for the next one to roll a lot better than how you've been rolling with the funds as well. So I think that is very crucial to start off with the mindset of we could grow this ourselves and grow this organically. But that was my portion, and I remember when Daryl was the president, he managed to get a lot of sponsorship, and I think that was really good. It really helped in terms of growing the interest, and I think at one point, during my time, when you win a tournament, you just get trophy and medal.
Okay, now that's playing for passion, right?
Yes, that was for passion. But Daryl had turned that around where it has become competitive, that if you win, you actually win money. And I mean, I felt that it's just amazing. How can you do that? And such a young association where you get money. I mean, you can get sponsors, they give you jersey give you flag, right? But winning money was like a different level. It becomes like a professional sport. It becomes something that people really look forward to, rather than just menang trophy.
Yeah, I think funds is a very big thing, and I'll say like number one, I had Aiman, he said like, so I told him like, okay, dude, this is what we need, this is how much I think we are going to spend, and because we were actually gearing up to host a Southeast Asian Cup at the end of 2020, but COVID happened, so all of that got like postponed. And then after doing the whole budgeting at the start of like 2019, we realized that we would need at least about 40,000 to basically run it comfortably.
Right.
And so Ayman and I sat down, and we were like, okay, how can we earn this 40,000 basically in the span of 2 years? So that's about 20 grand a year, which is a lot of money for MAFA, because that's basically, I would say, quadrupling the amount that was left. I would say, yeah. So basically, like with the amount that's left, we had to times 3 so that we have at least 40,000 so that we can run it. And at the end of it, we might not have any more balance for the next president or so. So Aiman and I were thinking like, how can we do that? And so I would say I really thank him because he figured out how to do certain things, how to basically shift things around, how to make money, small bits and pieces here and there, so that at the end of the day it will all accumulate together. And then we had the other guys in the team like Kyle and Zoe and Henry and Timo and all who basically said, okay, let's market things at different ways, and then we can bring in more people. With more people, we have more membership, sell more jerseys, we have more teams for tournaments. Then we can get more money from there, and all this money basically goes back towards the players. That's why we had like the awards night, which is something that I really felt like players gave so much throughout the year, not only in terms of like money but their time, their commitment. How can we as MAFA award that? How can we acknowledge that? you know um Never got a chance to do this year. I mean, sorry, the 2020. I've always wanted to do like a Hall of Fame thing. It would have
Yeah.
been nice to be part of the awards night. Um, but yeah, how can MAFA give back? So I feel like going back even as for like leadership and even as a president, you the thought is not how much can I take from these people, but how much can I give back to these people? Because when you start giving back, people see that people see and people acknowledge that or this person or this committee or this community is giving so much to the community. Then the community in turn will say, how can I give back to help the committee? And then it's just a cycle that just snowballs and grows. And I think that's where we are today. Like we say, how can we give back? We know that we want to go international, but we can't. So we say, okay, MAFA will fork out money to bring international teams down for the Rose Bowl. So we paid here and there stuff like that, but took it out of our marketing budget. But because of that, now we've got so many girls playing because they saw that MAFA is willing to invest in them, and therefore they are willing to invest their time and their into MAFA too. So they get their friends to come in, they get more and more people coming in. So I think that's how we grow the funds actually. By spending more on people, people will be more willing to spend more on us.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, and in terms of sponsorship, I would say we all pulled in whatever context we are here and there, whatever expertise we had, and we might not have been able to get money for sponsors, but we've got a lot of items. We got Puma as one of our sponsors, right? And we got Puma shoes and stuff like that. And people saw, wow, MAFA is giving back. MAFA is giving back to me. So why don't we see like MAFA is doing the awards night, MAFA is doing the All-Star game, MAFA is giving us jerseys, MAFA is giving us all of this. How can we give back? And then the community is willing to help. The community is willing to, okay, maybe this tournament is like a little bit more. I got to pay extra $50. It's okay, because I know at the end of the day, if I pay this extra $50 and if I make difference in this league, I could win a trophy as MVP, or I could be in the All-Star team and get one of those All-Star jerseys, and things like that. So I think those are the things that I felt was a way to market to grow the funds. I invest in the people, and then the people then invested back in MAFA. I feel,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, this could be like a secret among associations, but MAFA is one of the cheapest, has one of the cheapest membership fees.
Yeah. $1,
And I've heard like other associations around, and some of maybe sometimes it makes sense because of the equipment. But what is good about flag football is we don't really need a lot of equipment. It's quite simple actually. And hey, you know what? The flag is provided by the association. Wow, how great is that?
Let me
So
join.
even if you can get them, it's not going to cost you so much, right? Okay, so we have come to, we got about 10 more minutes. So what I'm going to do is we're going to open to any question. Ellie, hi, welcome. Mr. Sean, welcome. mana tadi, there's a few more guys here. So if you guys have any question, you can unmute, you can ask the questions, or if you want to share it in the chat, you can type it in the chat. You can ask any one of us, and we will see if we could, if the question is related to, the current or the previous or the future, and see how we can answer your questions if you have any questions at all. If not, then we can continue Mo Thai, Ho Peng Ho Thai. I mean, there's just so much for us to really share. I mean, if you look at how Daryl and Shah have been talking about, really joining in the community, and it's just amazing. You see a group of people just joining in. Some have absolutely no idea what this flag football is. For those who are curious about flag football, it is like American football, a little bit like American football-ish rules, but without the tackling. So it's perfectly safe. Many years ago, before MAFA, it was played only by men, at least that we know of in Malaysia. But when MAFA started, we were very much influenced by how the Philippines ran their association. They had a lot of ladies involved, and we thought, wow, that is great. And that is also to show that this sport is safe for everybody to play, and we got that ball rolling. We got ladies to join in, and teams became co-ed, and we played with both male and female. And then now we are moving to, you can see like an evolution of growth, how the sport is evolving to now separating, because we have a lot of women who are very committed to play, and now we can separate the man and the woman teams, and that growth is tremendous. It's amazing to see these ladies play, and they are so committed. Oh my God! And and to be honest with you, I get scared every time I have to rep for them.
Yeah, because I think they are more ganas than the guys also. I'm just like, whoa, calm down.
I think to explain flag football, I always use the analogy like, imagine soccer, football, but they have like full side, and then they have futsal. So that's basically flag football is to gridiron football. It's more compact, it's faster, and it's safer for everyone.
Yeah, we have minimal city here.
And what is cool about the sport is you don't have to be fast, you don't have to be super fit, you don't have to be fit. Period. You don't have to be tall. You don't have to be the person who jumps the highest. And I feel like football is always a game of intellect. There's a lot of strategy that goes along with it. There's a lot of planning. Every team member plays a role for one thing to happen, and everybody has a job. And when everybody does it well, that's when you see the play develops. Right? That's like the beauty. When you sit in there, you're like, wow. One play can fool everybody, can fool the defense, and that is really what the sport is about. That's really cool.
Coming from the MVP himself, lah.
Yeah, like you see, Ali said, Cham is fit and intellectual. So Cham is basically just talking about himself, lah.
I see no lie there.
Yeah, but really, I feel like flag football or like American football is a very different sport from a lot of the sports that I grew up watching or playing. And it's because I think, especially like now, like I'm not like I see in the field, right? Like, I'm not the fittest, I'm not the fastest. Actually, I'm the slowest and the most unfittest, like, let's put it that way, right? And then we have Cham, who is, like 18 at heart and legs, but on the hair maybe not so much. But but
nobody knows how old exactly he is.
Yeah, nobody knows. But he goes on the field and he dominates these 18, 21-year-olds, and he just makes them look like they are the 40-year-olds, and he's just running circles around them. And it's the mind, like really, it's the mind. Whenever people ask me how do you see flag football or how do you see American football, I always say that I feel like it's like chess, but with people,
Yeah.
right? So how can
Yeah.
you outsmart your opponent? Yes, everyone has their own set of skills, like even a pawn cannot move as much as a queen,
Yeah.
but a pawn is still as useful, if not more useful at certain times, and I think that's what football is. You have your big guys, you have your small guys, you have your fast guys, you have your not so fast guys, like all of this adds up. And if you can scheme well enough and out scheme your opponent, right? I think that's when the beauty of football happens. Yeah, I would say that for me, that's why I'm so drawn to football and why I love football so much is not because it's not about how well one player can play and not about how fit you have to be and stuff like that. Yet you do have to be fit because if you play a 2-day tournament, you're not fit, all the best. But right? But it's not only about that. It's about the mind. It's mostly about the mind. Yeah. I think
Okay.
Eli has a question.
Thank you so much, Derek, for sharing that. And you guys we have a few more questions. We have a question from Peter. Shah, this is addressing to you. If you don't mind sharing what's happening so far and if there's any plans for the future.
Uh, I think for this season, as we know, we have only restarted sports sector. Just coming off the recent MCO, we will restart the whole new season. Obviously, when we start at the start of the year, we have our set of program running from January until the end of the year. But after everything that we have been through, we have to readjust, and the plan is to kick off the season as early as we can, because I believe players are really into coming back to the pitch to play. But at the same time, we also need to be careful on the fitness level, because when you haven't been playing like consistently and during the MCO, and then you want to start, you cannot jump straight ahead into action. So yeah, we're trying to streamline all our activities upcoming for the upcoming season, and we will have an announcement in like as early as next week. It should be.
Okay. Thank you. There's another question. How to encourage team with smaller number of players to be more present during AGM, and not only talking about teams reps on the committee, but equal representation of team for high committee positions too.
I think we so far we have a good number of people in the MAFA community. In a very we actually growing steadily in the past few years, and I think this year should be a record number of new members. And I agree, when MAFA held the AGM, the problem that we always come against is players are not attending the AGM. So there's always gonna be a certain decision that was made without your knowledge, based on the AGM. That's something that you cannot avoid. So we still hoping that all teams can be more participating, can be more active in recruitment. So, and to have more representation in MAFA community and MAFA AGM. So that's where we are trying to diversify also the people that involved in the committee, because right now we are using the same formula from the last committee, where we are having all teams to be part of the committee. So there should be more enhanced communication between MAFA committee and all clubs. So in terms of communication, that is one of the aspects that we need to improve in the future.
Great. One more question. Will MAFA consider hosting official development program for the community, such as QB camps and flag football focused programs of that sort?
Absolutely. This is one of the idea that has been thrown around, because from the past, from previous experience, we have people who sort of we can consider specialists in certain position, in certain aspect. We have, like we said, people in our community is very diverse. We have fitness instructors. We have people from all walks of professional life. So I think to hold a specific training camps would be a great idea to be considered. But however, we still need to make sure that these ideas are streamlined in accordance with the calendar that we are planning. Because right now, if we are starting in now is end of March, and then next month dah puasa, and then after Raya, we don't really have that enough window to hold all our traditional tournaments that we have. Because right now, I have to also mention that one of the ambition that we have is to make use to commercialize more on our sports asset that we have. We have MAFA League, and then there are talks about the upcoming Women's League, the inaugural Women's League this year. It's still going on. So especially since that window it's not that much, so we still have to consider whether we have time for all tournaments. But are we considering it? Yeah, of course we are making it part of our plans in the future.
I think one most upcoming event MAFA could do is the Buka Puasa Bowl.
Cham, I think we've tried the Buka Puasa thing many times. We have never succeeded in it. Except the first time.
Because you didn't make it a tournament.
The first time when we had it near your house, the speedboat one. That is the only time I think we actually succeeded in getting like a lot of people. After
I
that,
think we had about 40 people that joined that session.
After that, it was never. Buka Puasa is not a thing.
All right.
It's not as competitive lah.
It's not competitive. Unless we have like football shaped sushi.
Unless we change the Buka Puasa session to a who can eat more session. Then maybe
Then the restaurant will go bankrupt. All right, guys. So we have come to the as we promised. It's 9:02. We're 3 minutes now behind. Taking a little bit more time. But I would like to thank the both of you, Daryl and Shah, for joining me tonight, and I would like to also thank everybody for asking these questions. I think these questions are valuable, and we can see that people are very much committed and want to see the association grow. So one last bit before we end the session, I would like to invite Shah to inform our viewers where can they find MAFA. If they want to learn a little bit more about MAFA or flag football, where can they find MAFA?
First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to on behalf of MAFA, to thank Cham and Team Accordia for this opportunity, and I think it's a good discourse for the benefit of our sport. And to those who are watching, if you are trying to find flag football in Malaysia, you can go straight away on Instagram. We are active on Instagram, flag football _Malaysia. And then other than our main account, our MAFA account, we also have clubs who are active on social media. So if you are interested, just reach out to those clubs. I believe they are more than happy to have you join them.
Great, thank you. I think we have one comment. Will Shah be inspired by Daryl's fitness journey once he stepped down as president later too?
This,
I've already stepped down as president.
this is no joke.
No.
I think like me taking this role is like we and Daryl, like if you look at Daryl now, he looks amazing. So I think I can see my future after I step down. Thanks Ellie for mentioning that.
Just so you know, Shah, that before I became MAFA president, I had no gray hair. And now I have to tie my hair so that the black hair hides the gray hair. Just letting you know first. Cham had a full head of hair, and now basically, you know lah.
No hair.
Regardless, I think it's still totally worth it lah.
Yeah, but I think like for me, I would say I'd like to wish Shah and the next committee, I won't say all the best. All the best sounds a bit bad. Right. I wish you all the best, I'll say. You know, it's going to be there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be trial, like hard times. And but for me, I knew that during the hard times I could call Cham, and Cham was always the voice of reason, and he could kind of like help me put things into perspective lah. You know, and he's always been there for football, even before MAFA. And at one point of time, flag football kind of died down a bit. And without Cham, we wouldn't be where we are today. He made sure that he got a bunch of people to continue running it. You know, and even if it wasn't a committee per se, it was a group of leaders who just organized tournaments and tried their best to keep football afloat to a point where we could become official and legitimate to where we are today. So I would say a big thanks to Cham or Zairul too for basically keeping flag football alive in Malaysia. And if not because of that, we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't have the hundreds of members that we have. We wouldn't have the teams. We wouldn't be able to go international. We wouldn't be doing a lot of this. So on behalf of flag football in Malaysia, since Shah said that on behalf of MAFA, I'll say on behalf of the sport in Malaysia, I'd like to thank Cham for all his efforts and all the hair he's put in to make sure that, you know, this sport stays alive and keeps afloat. I think this is his baby that he has passed on to me and now passed on to Shah, right? Hopefully we get to see the stadium soon. Cham has always wanted a stadium. Okay. So hopefully we get to see the stadium.
Yeah.
I know that for me, one thing that I always wanted to do in my term, but sadly because of COVID we couldn't, is I've always wanted Cham to have his name at the back of a official flag football Malaysia jersey.
Absolutely.
Sanctioned by KBS, and we actually travel and say we are actually Team Malaysia.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
I'm not gonna let that dream die down though.
Yeah, so he still got a few more years in him. So he still got a few more years in him. So Shah, you know, I think I passed the bit
I think taking over this role from you guys. I think what I'm gonna do is to emulate what you guys have done and some. You know, we are trying to continue grow the sport, and we also share like some of the same faces in the committee. Like Zoe, she has been like crucial to MAFA, and you know during your times, and I'm sure she will continue doing what she loves, and we are really grateful. I'm really grateful to have her part of the team, and we will continue to work together for the sport. Yeah.
Inshallah. All right, thank you guys so much. It's been such a pleasure, and I enjoy working with you guys, and I think this will never end. As long as I think when you keep the community going, you keep the association going, you guys are gonna do wonders. So keep this up, and we will see you this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see you on the field.
See you, man. See you on the field.
See you on the field. So thank you everybody for joining. Again, if you are looking for interested to check out what MAFA is doing, check out Facebook and Instagram, and you just Google Flag Football Malaysia or MAFA, you will find us. We are everywhere. So join us, and thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening.